Okay, good afternoon. We'll now start. I'd like to greet everybody. Good afternoon to this and welcome to this particular pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talks, so please show your faces in the video. A reminder is that after the pep talk, please take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. Another reminder, especially for those who have been attending the pep talk, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates would entitle one mentee to a free voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Feedback to this pep talk, my request is that please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn on your video and show your beautiful faces. Okay. Are you all ready? So please show your faces. Okay. Okay. Ready? The cut of one, one, two, three. Okay, before the cut goes in. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And starting October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling this health disorder and health issue courses. This may take 3 years or longer depending on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. But to tell you honestly, we're now on our 3rd year, completing our 3rd year by May 11, 2024. Okay. My pep talk today is entitled Usefulness of Telemedical Consultation and Rounds. This is to empower the lay people to have an essential understanding on the usefulness of telemedical consultation and rounds as part of their health management. So see if we can make use of telemedical consultation and rounds on top of the conventional face-to-face consultation. The contents of this particular pep talk will be the following. What is a telemedical consultation? What is a telemedical round? What is the current history of telemedical consultations and telemedical rounds in the Philippines and as being promoted by Dr. Hoson? What are the usefulness of a telemedical consultation and round? What are the limitations? And what are Dr. Hoson's advice on telemedical consultations? So as a disclaimer, I'd like to say that the contents of this pep talk will consist of my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations culled from my personal experiences, as well as from other professionals. Let's start with the first topic. What is a telemedical consultation? Telemedical consultation is not a face-to-face medical consultation. So that's the exact opposite. It's not a face-to-face medical consultation. It's where the physician, in a face-to-face medical consultation, the physician directly sees and touches a patient to evaluate his or her medical concern, and then to make a clinical diagnosis of the health concern, and then make recommendations for treatment. In telemedical consultation, the interactions between the physician and the patient for purposes of medical evaluation and medical recommendations are made through information technology or IT, such as telephone, email, Facebook Messengers, Viber, Zoom, and other online apps with no face-to-face interaction. So telemedical consultation, there is no face-to-face interactions. Telemedical consultation, as I said, it's not a face-to-face medical consultation like this. So this is some of the pictures of a face-to-face consultation. So I am in the clinic in Manila Doctors Hospital, and there are two patients, one patient and then the relatives okay, consulting me. Okay. Same picture here. Okay. And in telemedical consultation, we make use of the IT, laptop, cell phones, no? Okay. And then the apps, I can use the Facebook Messenger, the Viber, the Zoom. So this shows pictures of a telemedical consultation. So I am in my home. Okay. The patients are also in their home or somewhere else. There's no face-to-face interactions. Another example of a telemedical consultation, this time using Facebook Messenger. Okay, we can use the Viber also, the chat group, chat apps for in the Viber. So what is a telemedical rounds? Medical rounds by convention is a visit by a physician on a hospital patient for a health management purpose. The physician making the medical rounds usually goes to the room of the patient or to the hospital. The patient is confined in the hospital to assess the patient's progress, to discuss the diagnosis, to discuss further plans of management, and to instruct the patients on self-care at home and other things. Thus, the conventional meaning of medical rounds entails a visit to the hospital by the physician, and there is a face-to-face interaction with the patient. So this is the conventional definition of medical rounds. Whereas in telemedical rounds, it's practically the same as medical rounds, except that there is no hospital visit by the physician, no face-to-face interaction between the physician and the patient. Again, the interactions are done through information technology such as telephone, email, Facebook Messenger, Viber, Zoom, and other online apps. So these are illustrations of a typical medical rounds. Okay. There's a face-to-face interaction between the patient and the physicians, like this. Okay, like this. Okay, so a patient within the hospital. Okay, and then I went there to visit her and then to examine her and then to discuss things with her. So this is a typical face-to-face medical rounds. Another illustrations of the typical medical rounds. And then in the telemedical rounds, there's no face-to-face interaction, no hospital visits. So the interactions are done through either Viber, chat, through the chat, video chat, no, okay, using Viber, Messenger, or even Zoom. Okay. What is the current history of telemedical consultations and telemedical rounds in the Philippines and as being promoted by Dr. Hosan? Okay. Services for telemedical consultations have been present even before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So we had the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. The telemedical consultation has been there even before. but they are not widely used because they are not very popular. So are the telemedical rounds also. The telemedical consultations and rounds were forced to become popular during the COVID-19 pandemic because of safety issues of face-to-face medical consultations and rounds and the limitation of movements of physicians and patients. Telemedical consultation and rounds have become one of the new normals during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is an example of illustrations of the new normal. Okay, during the COVID pandemic, our concern is to stay safe and stay healthy amid the COVID-19 pandemic. So stay safe means to stay safe from being infected and dying of COVID-19. And it is not worth dying from COVID-19 as it is something very preventable. To stay healthy means to stay healthy, not to get sick from preventable medical conditions and issues aside from COVID-19, particularly those that need medical and dental management in a hospital setting. The risk for COVID-19 is great because of aside from the hassle, okay, there's a hassle involved there, and the expense is more, especially if it's a hospital management. So if not successful in staying safe and staying healthy, if there is a medical concern, the advice is to go for telemedical consultation first. So this was very popular during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then wait for the advice of the physician on the telemedical consultation and what to do next, particularly on whether there's a need to go to a hospital or not. So this is the new normal during the time, okay? Very popular. Filipino patients with a health concern. So the advice is go for telemedical consultation first. If there is no medical emergency, then home management. And then if not sure of the medical emergency, some doctors would advise you to go to the clinic or outside, outside the hospital setting management, okay, in the clinic or laboratory. And then if there's an emergency, you try to have a quick consult for advice, okay, if there's a need to go to the hospital or not. Okay. So if you compare the three, home management, clinic, or outside hospital setting management and hospital management, you can see that the risk of COVID-19 infection during that time, this was lowest in the home management, higher in the clinic because you have to go to a certain place, okay, and then highest in the hospital management. Okay. Now, for the hassle for screening of COVID-19 infection, again, this is very minimal for home management, moderate, and then extensive for the hospital management. And then the total healthcare expenses is also lowest in the home management, higher in the clinic or outside the hospital setting management, and then highest in the hospital management. So here, this was the advice then. If there is a medical concern, go for a telemedical consultation first. Wait for the advice of the physician in the telemedical consultation on what to do next, particularly on whether there's a need to go to the hospital or not, or to just stay home or go to the clinic or go to the hospital. So wait for the advice of the physician in a telemedical consultation. Now, after the pandemic, so we're not talking about the COVID, the risk for the COVID-19, but we are still talking about the costs here. If you have home management after telemedical consultation, you have the lowest healthcare expense, okay, compared to the hospital management, which may not be needed. Okay. So if you do a telemedical consultation and then the doctor says you don't have to go to the hospital, but you went to the hospital, so you will entail highest cost. Okay. Some would, during the telemedical consultation after the pandemic, the doctor can advise you to do the laboratory tests, diagnostic tests, So go to the clinic without going to the hospital. So the cost here will be a little higher than the home management, but lower than that in the hospital management setting. So this will be the scenario after the COVID-19. Okay. Still go for a telemedical consultation. If you have a health concern, wait for the advice of the physician, and then on what to do next, particularly on whether there's a need to go to the hospital, to the clinic, or to the just stay at home. What were the usefulness of telemedical consultation and rounds during the COVID-19 pandemic? So it was efficacious, very effective, because 99, the efficacy can reach as high as 99% if done properly. When you say done properly, this is in terms of achievement of the intended objectives of the medical consultations and rounds, which is usually evaluation and then discussions by the doctors and the physicians and the patients. And then the other one, the risk for COVID-19 infection, zero COVID-19 exposure because consultation is done through digital means, okay? Not through face-to-face. Safe, it's safer because there's zero COVID-19 exposure. Cost, lesser expense in the long run and overall because there's no travel expense, no face-to-face consultation. Okay? No screening test during that time, okay? During the COVID-19, when you do a telemedical consultation, you don't have to do the screening test, and then no use of the PPE, which are quite expensive and charged to the patients. And then in terms of availability, it was readily available in terms of the telemedical consultation during the COVID-19. So it was very popular during that time. Okay? It's very readily available. Now, after the COVID-19 pandemic, so what will be the usefulness of the telemedical consultation and rounds? The main usefulness is its convenience. Convenience on the part of the patient and the physician in arranging a medical consultation. So just by a call, telephone call, or a text call, no? So you can arrange for a medical consultation. There's no hassle for physical travel. There's no, in terms of distance and traffic and expense. And physicians, okay, even though the physicians and patients can be are far apart, okay, even walled apart, you can have telemedical consultation internationally. The patient is abroad, and then the physicians is in the Philippines. Okay. The other aspect of convenience will be in terms of time of medical consultation. Okay, so you can arrange the time for the consultation to be done. So there's a book appointment or a pre-arranged date and time. You don't have to wait for a long time as commonly seen in the face-to-face consultation in the doctor's clinic. Availability. Telemedical consultations more readily available nowadays compared to the pre-COVID-19 era because of the popularity of the because it becomes a new normal. Telemedical consultation is more readily available nowadays. Now, efficacy of consultations and rounds, 99%. Again, if done properly in terms of achievement of the intended objectives of the medical consultation and rounds. Then in terms of cost, lesser expense in the long run, and overall, especially there is no travel expense. And then patients being guided when to go to the emergency room and to the hospital. And because when you go to the emergency room and it's not needed, now you know that it's quite expensive to go in there, especially in the private hospital. So lesser expense with telemedical consultations. With the telemedical telemedicine becoming a vogue or becoming popular during the COVID-19 pandemic starting 2020, I and other physicians have used telemedical consultations and telemedical rounds. I started using the telemedical consultations and telemedical rounds starting March 17, 2021, at the start of the lockdown. I'm still using them up to now on top of the face-to-face interaction, face-to-face medical consultations and medical rounds that I resumed in May 2020. Okay. I resumed my face-to-face consultation on May 2020, okay, with once a week interactions, but I added telemedical consultations. The scope of my telemedical consultations will consist of the following basic steps. Okay. So this, I have to tell you that the R.O. Joson telemedical consultation approximates the standards R.O. Joson's face-to-face medical consultation with patients in the R.O. Joson Medical Clinic. Approximates the standards. I usually do the same thing, okay, in the telemedical consultation, okay, as in when I have a face-to-face consultation. Of course, there's the greeting, getting to know the patients, getting the personal data, especially the age, no? Okay. Then elicitation of concern or reason for the consultation, and then gathering of data to be used in arriving to a primary clinical diagnosis. So I try to get symptom data. Okay. Symptom data means those felt by the patient, data of previous and past medical treatment, and then sign data, which I usually do these are part of the result of the physical examination of the doctor. So inspection, looking at the patient's body and pointed areas of concerns with still and video pictures. So inspection during telemedical consultations can be done as effectively as in face-to-face consultations because we make use of the video. Okay, then there's a still or video pictures that can be added, and then sometimes, okay, most of the time I guide the physician guide the patient on doing self palpation because this cannot be done during the telemedical consultations. So the physician will just have to guide the patient to do the self-palpation and then watch the patient do the self-palpation and make a conclusion whether there is something wrong, something unusual. If there's something unusual but there's no certainty, then a diagnostic test may be ordered by the physician through the telemedical consultations. And then R.O. Joson doing medical recording in a stationery which contains a primary diagnosis, explanations, recommendations, discussion with shared decision-making and informed consent on the treatment plan. And then I usually scan the medical record, then I give this to the patient when I do my telemedical consultations. But nowadays, I do a little shortcut and then just type in all the findings and recommendations in the chat boxes of either the Messenger or the Viber or the Zoom. Now, after that, with the medical recording, the patient will acknowledge that they understood and they have received the medical records. So these are the basic steps in my telemedical consultation. In May 2022, after I resumed inpatient surgical operation, I've been doing mostly telemedical rounds up to discharge time. I would do physical visit to the hospital to make rounds only when needed. So hindi na ako pupunta ng hospital kung di kailangan. So I just do a telemedical rounds. I have surgical residents doing rounds in the hospital to assist me in my telemedical rounds. They would report to me on the status of the patients. So the day after the operation, with prior arrangement with the patients or relatives, I usually tell them that we'll have a tele rounds at that time, at this time. So we would do video chat through any of these platforms, usually Viber, Facebook Messenger, or Zoom, whichever is accessible and easier to utilize. Usually, it was common yung Facebook Messenger and Viber. Okay. Through the video chat, I can do the usual things that I do in physical medical rounds, except hindi ko lang magagawa in palpation of the patient's body. But if there's a need to do a palpation, I would ask the assistance of a surgical resident who is on duty in the hospital. So ito yung example of a picture of a telemedical rounds. Nasa hospital yung pasyente together with a caregiver, and then I am at home. We use this one, we use the video chat of the Facebook Messenger. Okay, so here is a picture of a patient with under telemedical rounds a day after a major operation, which is here what was done here was a mastectomy. She was happy with the telemedical rounds. She had a picture taken with me with her caregiver. She would be discharged 1 to 2 days post-op without me having to do a physical medical rounds. By the way, after she is discharged, if there is any concern into her operation or in her operation, she is welcome to contact me anytime for a video chat. This video chat can be labeled as telemedical consultation and also as a telemedical rounds, as there is monitoring of the patient's progress being done as in a medical rounds. The only difference here is that monitoring is done at this time outside the hospital at home. Okay. So I foresee that the telemedical rounds will eventually be defined as monitoring and following up the progress of patient's condition at a distance. That's why it's called tele means distance, tele rounds, not only with the patients being confined with the hospital. The patient can be at any place outside the hospital as long as the main objective of the conventional medical rounds are being accomplished, essentially that of following up the patient's progress. So kahit saan pwede nang gawin ito in the future, now, saka yung iba, pwedeng gawin ng ibang doktor. What are the limitations of the telemedical rounds and telemedical consultations? Basically, no direct palpation of the body parts of the patient if needed to be done. Hindi makakapass through the video. Okay? No direct auscultation of the patient if one has to be done. Auscultation meaning use a stethoscope to listen to, example, a heartbeat. Okay, so no direct auscultation, no direct palpation of the body parts of the patients. But innovations can be done. So the physician can ask and teach the patients and relatives to do some maneuvers in the physical examination, of course, under the guidance of the physician. Tuturuan ng doktor yung pasyente. So despite the limitations, the accuracy of the diagnosis of telemedical consultations and rounds can still approximate that of the face-to-face medical consultations and rounds as long as the physician can do some adjustment and innovations. So note, this is not a limitation. So when I say telemedical consultations and rounds that approximate the processes and procedures of a face-to-face medical consultation and rounds, with the physician being conscientious in achieving utmost accuracy and offering adequate explanation, usually takes longer, usually double the time or longer, thus more tedious. So this is not a limitation. Not, okay. So yung time element involved in telemedical consultation is usually longer than a face-to-face medical consultation. And usually naman in a face-to-face medical consultation, there's a tendency to hurry up to complete to finish the consultation. Okay. Sa telemedical consultation, upon the agreement by the physician and the patient, it can be longer. Pwede sila mag-agree on the time. Okay. So kahit na matagal siya, a lot of patients tend to appreciate this, especially the explanation, which are usually abbreviated during the face-to-face interactions. So nowadays, all physicians must have two modes of services for medical consultations. One is face-to-face, the other is telemedical. Dalawa na. So these are my advice on telemedical consultations. So with the two modes of services, telemedical and face-to-face consultation, this gives a patient the opportunity or the leeway to choose which mode of consultations would be convenient and advantageous for them based on the circumstances they are in. There are indications for each of the two modes of the medical consultation. In non-emergency situations, pag di siya emergency, essentially if a face-to-face consultation is possible based on the distance and expense, and there is a need for a physician to touch a patient's body in physical examination for more accurate diagnosis, then the advice is to go for a face-to-face medical consultation. Again, kung non-emergency, pero kailangan ng tapain at to have a more accurate diagnosis through the physical examination, then go for a face-to-face medical consultation. If the face-to-face consultation is not possible or difficult based on the distance and expense, sabihin natin sa probinsya, okay, sa isang malayong lugar, and other factors like a bedridden patient, mahirap magbiyahe, physicians may forgo and physician can forgo touching the patient's body and just make use of other methods of evaluation. Then one may opt for telemedical consultation. So it all depends on these situations. Okay. So pwedeng telemedical, pwedeng face-to-face. Now, in emergency situations naman, if one has access to a physician who does telemedical consultation, sabihin natin, may kilala tayong doktor nagte-telemedical, mako-contact niyo kagad. So the advice is to get a quick, kasi emergency to, dapat quick telemedical consultation first, and then follow the advice of the patient. So the physician will advise the patients or the relatives whether there's a need to bring the patient to an emergency room, again, where and when to go, and what first aid to do, etc. Because rushing to an emergency room may not be needed after a telemedical consultation. However, the decision is based on the discretion of the relatives of the patient, of course, with prior advice from the patients. If in situations where the emergency is uncertain, kung di kayo sigurado kung talagang emergency itong yung sitwasyon, if one has access to a physician who does telemedical consultation, get a quick telemedical consultation, then follow the advice. Rushing to a emergency room may not be needed after a telemedical consultation. Sabi natin, hindi ka sigurado, pero sinabing doktor, pwedeng hindi. So you save the patient, you save yourself or the patient to travel to the hospital, which usually entails a lot of more cost, more expense. Okay. Okay, I think that's the last slide for the main lecture. Summary and takeaway. I have discussed all these topics. What is telemedical consultation? What is telemedical rounds? What is the current history? And then what are the usefulness, the limitations, and then what are my advice on telemedical consultations? Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment. Be always in touch with the reliable medical information and the usefulness of telemedical consultation and rounds. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on the usefulness of telemedical consultations and rounds as part of your health management. This ends my pep talk today, usefulness of telemedical consultation and rounds. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding of the usefulness of telemedical consultations and rounds as part of your health management. Before we go to the Q&A portion, let's reminder, please take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this one shown here. And then obtaining 25 OLETE certificates starting 2024 this year will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a free RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Feedback, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. And then let's now have a group picture taking before we start the Q&A and interactions. Please turn on your video now and show your faces. Okay, ready? Everybody may pahabol? One, ala, Aloy, there. 1, 2, pahabol. Dali. Okay, let's repeat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the floor is now open for questions, comments, sharing of experiences, suggestions, etc. How many of you have experienced telemedical consultations? 1, 2, 3. Practically all. No? Phoebe, you had a telemedical consultation na si Phoebe?
Yes, no.
Ha?
Hindi po, wala.
Wala. Okay.
Mm.
Except for PB, lahat nagkaroon ng telemedical. So, Aloy, nag-telemedical na tayo, di ba? So, anong feedback mo, Aloy, sa telemedical na ginawa natin?
Grateful ako, Doc, kasi sabi ko nga dati dito sa Hong Kong, walang ano yung mga doktor, walang binibigay na gamot. So far, naririnig niyo ako? Ano kasi ako.
Yeah.
So far, sa observation ko, Doc, medyo lumiit siya yung binigay mong gamot. Hindi siya ganun ka-visible, pero kasi dito na part, parang bumaba siya. Parang, hindi ko alam po anong Tagalog, nagsiswell yung mga dito ko dati eh. Ngayon, ang natira na lang is itong ano na lang talaga, yung mass na lang talaga, or cyst ba ang tawag dito, ang natira. So, katulad kong OFW, super maganda yung ganito, medical kasi merong, sa language barrier namin, hindi namin masyadong mag-communicate yung doktor. Hindi kami masyadong makatanong, hindi din nila masabi yung gusto nilang masabi lahat. Kaya nung nagpakonsulta ako sa'yo, parang happy, tas nakatulog ako ng maayos.
Okay, thank you. So you can see that Aloy is from Hong Kong. So we did a telemedical consultation, Philippines and Hong Kong. Okay. I also have experiences with patients doing telemedical consultation with patients in the US, in other countries, in other parts of in the provinces, no? Zamboanga del Sur, del Norte, Cebu, no? And also in Japan, no? Yung nasa barko, no? Kung saan nasa barko, nagte-telemedical consultation. So you can see the usefulness of telemedical consultation, no? So kahit nasaan ka, pwede mag-telemedical consultation as long as there is facilities for a video chat, no? Okay. And then I think yung accuracy ng consultation will be dependent primarily on the doctor. Dapat yung doctor na magaling, no? Who can adjust to the limitations kasi hindi pwede mapalpate, di ba? Walang palpation, no? So dapat magaling yung doctor mag-adjust, no? Okay, mag-evaluate, no? So far, as I said, from my experience, I have the effectiveness, the accuracy can reach as high as 99%. Na? Okay. So, kung di ako sigurado, because I cannot palpate, I have to innovate. No, it's either I teach the patient do the palpation, and then while they are palpating, tinitingnan ko kung ano yung itsura ng kapa, or I ask for a video, no? And then kung talagang mahirap sabihin, kung talagang may bukol sa kapa o ano, then I ask for, let's say, a diagnostic test or ultrasound, na pagpapagawa ko na lang, no? Okay. So ganun din naman sa sa face-to-face interaction sa clinic. Kung minsan hindi rin sigurado yung sa findings, nagda-diagnostic test pa rin, di ba? Okay. Like ultrasound, particularly ultrasound sa mga bukol, no? Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Sabi nga ni Aloy, she's happy with the services that I offered her. At least nakakausap niya ako mabuti. Sa Hong Kong, din sila magkaintindihan. No? Okay. And then I was able to prescribe medicine also for her through the telemedical consultation. And then happy to hear that lumit ng konti na. No? Okay. Okay. Any comment? Any additional comments? Those who have experience with telemedical. Okay, how about telemedical rounds? Okay, Lily, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you have attended our Zoom. Can you share to us the tele rounds that I made with you? Right? You had tele rounds, right? With me? Unmute. Paki-unmute lang, Lily. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, your
Yeah.
teleround was done during after my surgery
Yeah.
in colectomy at PGH
Yeah.
with the assistance of your very able residents. And
Yeah.
I see that Dr. Ray Benjamin is on the screen also today. He
Good
was
afternoon po, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, doctor. He was one of those coming to visit me in the room.
Okay.
And then the next telemed was immediately after I got home after surgery, when I had infection of my wound, and there was pus coming out, and you instructed my caregiver to remove the pus by pressing my stomach. And it was done daily, morning and evening, until the pus was gone. And for this, doctor, I'm really, really very happy and grateful for what was done to me.
Okay. So, nung nakauwi na si Lily, so I made telerounds to follow up the progress, no? And then we discovered that she has infection of the wound, no? So which I was able to diagnose, no? By looking at the gauze, no? And also by asking her and her caregiver to do the maneuvers to press the wound at kung may discharge na lalabas, na ganon, na. Okay. So pwede sa pwede, na. So we can make a diagnosis through telemedicine and telerounds, no? And then advise the patients accordingly after the diagnosis, no? Okay. So thank you for joining us, Lily.
Thank you too, doctor.
Any more? Anybody else who want to share some experience with telemedicine during the COVID, after the COVID? Anybody who has experience with telemedicine with other doctors and try to compare with my approach? Pwede? Wala. Walang
I
mention.
had some,
Di, Doc.
Ah, oh, Chris,
Si ma'am muna, Doc.
Lily, you're saying
Apa.
something, Lily?
yes, doctor. I had some telemedicine consultations during the pandemic with my cardiologist,
Okay,
Dr. Pistaño,
okay,
and Dr. Montemayor,
okay,
and Dr. Amante.
okay,
But all those teleconsultations, medical consultations were were done only for prescription. When the one the for the nephrologist, when I had some problems with my kidney,
Mhm.
urination, and he prescribed what she usually prescribes. She sent me the prescription. And
okay,
then Dr. Amante also with my pain that I experienced, also giving prescription.
okay,
And my cardio just she just asked for my BP, my pulse rate, and oxygen rate, and which is she said it's okay.
okay. Oh, sige. So, okay yun, no? So, telemedical rounds. So, you can see that it's effective also, no? Okay. So, the telemedical consultations with other doctors are also very effective, no? In terms of asking you to get data, what are your BP, what are your heart rate, di ba? Okay. And then, after that, they make a diagnosis and then they do the necessary prescription kung kailangan, no? Okay. 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 Any more that you want to add, Lily?
Nothing more, doctor.
Okay. Uh,
It's not as the teleconsultations with them is very different from yours.
okay. Mine is more extensive, no?
Yes, doctor.
Detailed, no? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I always just like in my face-to-face consultation, I do a lot of physical examination, palpate, no? Palpate. Okay.
Yes, and
Nowadays, a lot of doctors, they just rely on diagnostic tests, no? Okay.
yes. And I saw a while ago, it was flashed on the screen, a photo taken in PGH during your tele-round. Maybe it was taken by I was not aware, maybe it was taken one of the residents. It was flashed on the screen just a while ago.
Your picture,
Yes, when I was in PGH.
is it in PGH or I'll take a look, I forgot.
Yes, it's in PGH
PGH ba?
after my surgery.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think a few days after my surgery.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We had tele-rounds in PGH, no?
Yeah, yes, doctor.
Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. At least you have, you tell me whether you want to have a copy of that.
Yes, please, I would love it.
Okay. I'll send you a copy for
Thank
your
you.
memorabilia.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. Thank you, Lily, for sharing. Okay. Chris, ikaw na, Chris.
Thank you. Actually, Doc, agree ako dun sa ni ma'am, comment ni ma'am na yours kasi na-experience ko many times yung online consultation with you and other doctors. Kasi nung sa case ko kasi, during my medication, kakalabas lang talaga nung COVID, nag-start ako ng medication, yun yung nag-lockdown tayo, tapos gano'n. So, tsaka yan yung one way na nakilala ko si Doc Hoson. Thank you so much kasi si Doc Hoson yung doctor, hindi lang sa akin, kundi sa buong family namin nung first time ako nagka-COVID na habang ongoing medication ako sa breast CA ko. So, ang napansin ko lang, Doc, no, yours is more detailed. Ang sa ibang doctors naman, parang tama po kayo relying only on the results of the laboratories tapos issuance na agad ng mga medications po. Or kapag wala ka pang laboratory, tatanungin ka, then kakamusta, anong nararamdaman mo, ganun. And then magbibigay ng agad ng for subject for laboratories, and then mag-meet kayo ulit, mag-online consult, then saka siya magbibigay po ng mga medications, mga reseta po. Ganun lagi yung setup. Doc, question as sa'yo, Doc, kapag nag-online consult kami, alam namin na confident kami na sabi nyo nga po na 99% yung accuracy during the online consultation. Kayo, Doc, as expert, Doc, ano po yung prefer nyo talaga, yung online consultation or face-to-face po? Yun yung number one question ko. And then second po, Doc, ano po, Doc, yung ma-advise nyo po sa amin to know kung equipped ba yung doctor during online consultation po namin. Yung accuracy na sinasabi kasi kami yung sa lumang way, mas to be honest, mas comfortable kami kapag face to face kasi napapalpate yung kaming patient, tapos nakikita kami talaga ng doctor personal, ganon. Ang question number 2 ko po, Doc, paano po namin malaman, Doc, na like for example, na-equip yung doctor during online consultation, Doc? Yung bang maano kami, anong tawag dyan, ano kami na yes, tulad nyo yung doctor na nakausap namin as expert.
Okay. Thank you for your questions. No? Overall, sabihin natin, between face-to-face and telemedical consultation, may lamang pa rin ng face-to-face, di ba? Okay. Face-to-face because may human touch, may physical di ba? And then yung sa face-to-face naman, kasi makikita direct yun, kahit na inspection, direct na makikita yung kung anong itsura, kung anong findings sa pasyente, no? And then makakapa, no? So overall, lamang pa rin yung face-to-face, no? But there are a lot of situations now na pwedeng i-telemedical, no? Okay. Now, as I said, because of the distance, the convenience, no, that you're running after, you can do the telemedical, no? Kung sabihin natin, kasi kung magbiyahe ka, alam mo naman, maghirap magbiyahe nga because of the traffic, because of the cost, no? Okay. If there's no need for palpation, mga follow-up lang, no? Pwede nang, pwede nang mag-telemedical, no? Okay. It's as I said, it's as accurate, no? Okay. So kung kailangan magpalpate lang, then ako I usually tell the patients, no? Kung let's say initial magko-consult sa akin for the first time, tinatanong ko muna kung ano yung kaso niya, no? Okay. If I think there's a need to do the palpation, sasabihin ko sa pasyente, mag face to face na lang tayo muna, no? Okay? Kasi kailangan ko kapain yon. Huwag na tayo mag-tele, no? Okay. Pero kung minsan, sinabi niya sa akin na may example ito. Sinabi niya may bukol siya sa breast, no? So kung minsan meron na siyang ultrasound result, no? So sabihin ko sa kanya, okay, I need to see you, pero once a week lang kasi ako, next week pa. Pero sabi ko, but send me the results of yung ultrasound na ginawa sa iyo, no? So nung pinadala sa akin, nakita ko yung results, no? So sabi ko, we can make a telemedical consultation para makagawa tayo ng quick decision, no? Okay. So earlier decision whether to have her admitted. Then after that, if a follow through ko with a face-to-face kung kailangan pa, no? Okay. So I have one patient who requested for a consultation na breast cancer, no? Na 1 week after pa yung ano namin, no? So tumawag siya sa akin on a Wednesday. So the next clinic ko is on a Tuesday. That's almost 1 week. So sabi ko, patingin na lang muna yung results ng ultrasound na ginawa sa iyo. No? So tinignan ko, then right away, I was able to make a diagnosis. Sabi ko, mag-schedule na tayo ng operation. No? Ganon. No? So we were able to get an operation. Then, kasi kung kumisan yung operation, 1 week, 2 weeks, matagal. No? So after my schedule niya, sabi ko, okay, but you can come and see me before the operation para i-verify ko yung aking findings, no? Okay. So ganon. So it all depends on the situations, no? Kung kailangan ikapa, no? Kung kailangan kung mahirapan yung pasyente sa biyahe, no? Then you do a telemedical, no? Okay. Okay? Okay, Chris?
Thank you po, Doc. Thank you so much. Actually, itong mga dinidiscuss niyo po sa amin, napakalaking help po sa amin, mga kaliwanagan sa mga questions namin. Kayo talaga, all in one po talaga sa inyo natututunan namin. Hindi lang yung learnings doon sa health, kundi psychologically, Doc, napakalaking tulong po. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So, and anybody else who wants to share or to ask questions? So, post-COVID na tayo, post-COVID na. Okay. Maria Polotan, I think we had a tele, no?
Opo, yes po.
Tele, yeah.
Nung ano ho, I think the tele was during the COVID when I had that bad case of tonsillitis. And I was not sure if it was COVID or not. And then twice after that COVID, I got COVID.
Yeah. Yung COVID, medyo madali-dali yung COVID.
Yes, oo. Oo,
No.
that was easier. Mahirap yung tonsillitis kasi ano talaga, it was very painful po eh. Because I had the pus sa ano,
Yeah.
on one side, left, yeah, oo.
So how
But,
did I examine you?
Ay, ano ho, with the phone, tapos I brought up the phone, tapos ano yun, yung flashlight.
That's right. Okay.
Oo, you looked at the pus and then you saw nga, ay, oo, meron nga. And then, ano siya, swollen kasi ho eh, di ba? It was, both sides were swollen, one had pus. So sabi nyo nga, this is not COVID kasi may nana. Normally, ang COVID, wala naman nana, just itchiness, a little swelling. Then you prescribe medicines that really worked.
Okay, that's nice.
So that was very good ho because I did not have to, nakakatakot nun to go to a medical doctor because we were under lockdown.
Yeah, okay. So that's why that illustrates yung importante yung doctor na talagang busisiin niya yung physical exam.
Ang dami ho nating angle. Tapos
Oo.
may picture taking pa.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I have to resort to Zoom, mas higher resolution ng Zoom kung kailangan,
Yes.
kahit na yung mga video ng Messenger pwede na, Viber pwede na. Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing. Any more? Any more who wants to share? Beth, anything that you want to say, Beth? Aloy, you want to say something?
Yes, Doc. Anuin ko lang yung opportunity ngayon to say, pasalamat sa iyo, Doc, kasi pasensya po, Bisaya ako, nahirapan ako mag-Tagalog. Ano na lang, magpapasalamat ako sa iyo kasi, di ba, as I've mentioned nung nag-telemedical tayo, year 2020 pa ako nagpa-check up dito sa Hong Kong. And every year kasi yung check up nila dito, hindi katulad sa atin na pag gustong emergency, gusto natin malaman agad, pwede natin gawin. Dito kasi pag government, i-schedule pa kada next year or the next 2 years. Lalo na pag sinabi mong walang problema, hindi masakit, ganon. So, nung nag-telemedical tayo, parang nakatulog ako ng mahimbing. Kasi dati marami akong questions, tapos hindi pa masagot kasi mahal ang private dito. So, sa public ako. So, naghihintay ako ng 1 year ng follow-up check-up, ganun, hindi ako i-entertain. So, nung nag-attend ako sa inyo, tapos nagpa-telemedical, parang ang laki talaga niyang tulong sa akin. Parang ngayon, parang madami ng plano sa buhay. Dati kasi parang nag-hold back ako sa mga plano ko kasi baka may sakit ako, pati pagkain ko nagkakaproblema na ako, pwede ba to? Kasi wala silang sinasabi yung mga doktor dito. Iba sa atin sa Pilipinas, lalo na po sa'yo. Iba, kasi pag tinatanong ko sila na, any, ano sa food na hindi ko kakainin, sasabihin lang nila, okay, just proper diet, ganun lang, walang gamot. So, very thankful talaga ako nung nagpa-telemedical ako sa inyo kasi nakatulog na talaga ako ng mahimbing.
Okay, thank you.
Malaking tulong sa aming mga malalayo sa Pilipinas.
Okay. Okay, it reminds me, yung kwento mo, it reminds me. Di ba ayaw ba nila mag-telemedical sa ano? Sa Hong Kong?
Hindi do, kahit nung COVID wala, magpapaschedule ka sa private, tapos may oras silang ibibigay. Saka pupunta ka talaga doon sa
Even with
hospital.
COVID, walang telemedical? Sa COVID?
Wala.
Wala?
Wala. Pupunta talaga. Tapos mahirap sa kanila dito kasi kahit konting bukol ganito sa akin, nung makita ko to, pupunta ka, tatanungin ka, mga masakit ba ganito, hindi ka nila i-check up ka agad. Pag sinabi mong hindi masakit, bibigyan ka ng papel, the next year ka pa mag-follow up check up.
Okay. Nako. So, okay, sa Hong Kong iba yun, no? Pero,
O unless pagpunta mo, sasabihin mo na hindi na ako makahinga, and unless 50-50 ka. Ang nangyari sa akin, 2 beses ako bumalik, sinabihan ako ng employer ko na pag pumunta ka sa hospital, huwag kang mag-makeup, huwag kang magpa-ano ka na may sakit. Sinabi ko, Dok, hindi ko alam kung tama yung sinabi ko sa doktor. Parang siniset ko yung mind na sinasabi ko na, Dok, hindi ako makahinga. Hindi ko alam kung tama ba, may connection ba sa leeg ko sa thyroid ko yung heartbeat ko. Ang sinabi ko lang, nahihirapan ako huminga sa gabi, Dok. Sa umaga pag nakatayo, hindi. Pero pag sa gabi, nahihirapan akong huminga, uncomfortable ako. Pero yun lahat is gawa-gawa ko lang para ma-check up ako agad. At that moment, nung sinabi ko, nilagyan ako ng mga pang-heart dito, in-x-ray ako, parang ganon. Tapos nagtuloy-tuloy na. Hanggang pinanindigan ko talaga na, na nahihirapan ako huminga. Hanggang sa na ultrasound ako.
okay. I hope countries like Hong Kong and other countries, even the Philippines, baka dapat i-promote nila yung telemedical kahit na initial, no? May mga indications yan eh. Kasi kung kaysa pupunta ka doon sa clinic, ang tagal-tagal, no? So,
Tinanong pa nga ako ng employer ko kasi gusto na ng mama ko na umuwi ng Pilipinas para ma-check. Tapos sabi ng employer ko, sabi ko, Sir, uuwi na ako kasi magpapacheck. Ayaw na ako umuwi. Sabi niya, saan bang mas magandang doktor? Ang Pilipinas o Hong Kong? Kasi parang ang taas ng tingin nila ng doktor sa Hong Kong. Kaya sabi ko, mas maganda sa Pilipinas kasi minsan hindi lang accurate yung mga findings kasi sa mga machine. Kasi natural ang doktor, doon yung magre-rely sila. Pero maraming magaganda sa doktor sa
okay.
Pilipinas.
Yeah. Sige. But I still hope that the Philippines can pursue yung telemedical. Kasi baka mawala rin yung telemedical no? Kung di nila kabisado yung usefulness ng telemedical. No? A lot of doctors are going back to face-to-face. Ayaw nila yung telemedical, di ba? Okay. Kung sa mahirap na mabusisi di ba? Pero for the patients, kung sa convenient naman, di ba? Okay. Okay. Any more comment? There are no more comments. We'll call it a day. So we will have, as I said, as I posted in my Facebook, we will be reaching our 3rd year by May 11. May 11 is a Saturday. So two more lectures. Tapos na tayo ng 3 years of pep talk. Diba? Okay. But we will still continue. No? Okay. So the two topics that I prepared for the last two lectures for the third year is that cancer burden, saka yung mga cancer, about cancers na. Balik tayo sa cancer. No? Okay. Okay. So, if there are no more comments, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week. No? Okay. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Bye-bye po.
Thank you.
Happy weekend po.
Happy weekend also.
Yes.